Welcome, Capricorn, and to all of you that are new. I'm Dadhichi from astrology.com.au. To the regulars, it's great to have you back again. You know, it's April 2018, and towards the end of March last month, we saw that Mars transit moving closer and closer to your ruler, Saturn. And right now, as the month commences, what we call a partile conjunction, meaning both Mars and Saturn are in identical degree. Now that's a challenge, but fortunately straight after this, say around the third of the month, that aspect, that challenging, frustrating composition of energies will relax a little bit. But it is a very powerful one for you because it takes place in your sun sign that can at the same time energize you, but with your ruler there, Saturn, can pull you back. So that can be a rather diametrically opposed set of energies that makes it hard for you to know which way to go. And on top of that, you've got that retrograde Mercury in your domestic sphere right now. So some of you born under Capricorn could be feeling a little indecisive about things, at least frustrated. And I would even go so far as to say that this is the classic passive-aggressive combo, Mars and Saturn. You've also got that proximate Pluto there, so Saturn not for a while, but Mars definitely later in the month, around the 26th to be exact, is going to make its presence felt in your sun sign. This can be rather explosive. We've got the challenging aspects at the outset of the month to the retrograde Mercury, to the Sun. These are all domestic issues, by the way. There can be domestic issues challenging your freedom and your independence, your planning. You know, you may have plans that you've worked months and months to get happening, only to find that over here, thank you very much, you've screwed that up. The retrograde Mercury is there. On the 15th, that moves forward. So if you could just hold on to your horses or your chairs or whatever it is you're holding on to, that planet will move forward. Mercury for you has a lot to do with legal matters. It has to do with your fortune generally. It has to do with service and work-related issues and debts and to some extent expenses. So as that moves forward, you may start to see an easing up of those sorts of issues. And many of you are already familiar with the notion that a retrograde Mercury can throw all of your plans into complete and utter disarray. So it's probably best practice to wait, as frustrated as you feel. We see that the conjunction of Mars and Saturn will, through what we call the reverse square aspect of Saturn, throw the aggressive, irascible energies of Mars onto your career sector. And you start the month with a rather full moon in the 10th house. A lot of energy there as well. I think some of the plans that you've had, your personal plans, have to do with work, professional directives, that sort of thing. And maybe with the sun under the earth, because when the sun is in the 4th house, it's invisible. And a lot of stuff is going on behind the scenes there, which could undermine your best laid plans. Wait. The new moon in your 4th house takes place on the 16th, the day after the forward movement of retrograde Mercury. So a lot of new stuff is happening there. You can set a whole new agenda to the family. If you're a family person, we're all family people in some sense, but I guess we draw a distinction between the historic family and the family that you choose by marriage. Either way, your family life will start to take a big turn for the better, I think, that new moon. And it could be precipitated by your spouse or partner, as evidenced by the moon ruling your 7th house. So I think this is a very strong period. The second half of the month is very, very strong for giving you the impetus and the direction you need, and the resolution with family members to somehow reconcile these two seemingly disconnected things, your work and your domestic sphere. So that's good news. The very last day of the month also contains another full moon, and this takes place in your 11th house of profitability, and that's going to be in the proximity of Jupiter, which is already there, and so that's going to bring some good fortune in terms of your social connections, social successes, and that casts its influence on the beautiful transit of Venus, which is going to be moving through this area of your horoscope for most of the month. You'll probably be distracted by all that other stuff, but if you could just shift your attention to romance a little bit, you'll probably find a lot of relief there, especially in the first 2 weeks. Do that if you can, because after the 25th, Venus then moves to your 6th house. That has to do with issues of work, beautifying your work environment and making that a lot more comfortable for you in your day-to-day routine. Hope that helps. I'm looking forward to seeing you again next month. Do take some time to visit me over there at my website, astrology.com.au, to get the more in-depth, detailed readings for this month and the rest of the year as well. See you soon. Bye-bye now.